Welcome to Close Listening. I'm Zach Morgenstern, joined as always by Silent Go host Ludwig von B. The album I'm talking about today is this one, Silk Degrees. I apologize you can't see it really well. This is a copy from the public library, and is often the case with library copies. The insert was lost, and the good people at the library just printed out a copy in black and white to replace it. Now, I have to give credit to whoever made this version of the insert because unlike many of them will just print like the front cover in black and white, they actually attempted to recreate what was lost. Like they printed the pictures on the inside, including the liner notes. So that was a pretty cool gesture from whoever did that for us CD aficionados who use the public library system. This is a record I've been meaning to listen to for a long time. About 10 years ago, I remember hearing this catchy song on the radio that vaguely reminded me of Billy Joel, but I wasn't able to identify the song. And I kept asking people, do you know this Billy Joel song that goes, oh, 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 oh? And then finally in 2019 at Thanksgiving, one of my brothers played the song Lido Shuffle for us. So I finally figured, why not listen to the whole album with Lido Shuffle on it? Because I love that song so much. And it turns out I love pretty much this whole record. It opens with a song called What Should I Say? This to me feels like a great piece of songwriting since the verse and the chorus are both great, but in completely different ways. The chorus is simple and dynamic, led by dramatic backup singers and big strings. The verse, meanwhile, has a slightly jazzier, streetwise feel to it with inline rhymes. 3 a.m., it's me again, wouldn't you know? This isn't a song that's trying to be more than a pop love song, but there's just enough specificity in its lyrics that it gets some real personality. Track number 2 is called Georgia. This is another rich orchestral song with a cool falsetto bridge. And no, it is not the famous song, Georgia on My Mind, though there is a lyrical reference to it in there. And again, this is a pop love song with just enough specificity in there, your lazy eyes and small town lies, that it has some potential depth beyond its catchiness. Track number 3 is called Jump Street. So this album has been good so far, and Boz Scaggs cements it as a very good album by making sure to shake up the sound a little bit sometimes. So this is a boogie woogie rocker, unlike the more, I guess, soul-y feel on the first couple songs. It also has a bit more edge to it, but it's a happy sounding edge. This is a song that appears to have a story, but it's kind of hard to interpret. It's just vague enough that you can't really do much with it, kind of like Paul Simon's Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard. But you get a sense of a character behind the song, a confident man who keeps getting into adversarial relationships, but that's where he gets his spark in life. Track number 4 is called What Do You Want the Girls to Do? This is the one cover song on the album. It's by a guy named Alain Toussaint, which is definitely a name I know, though I'm not sure I've ever heard him perform. It's the only song that's not written either by Boz Scaggs or by his keyboard player, David Paich. But it feels very similar to track 1 and 2. It feels just like, in my limited sense, what a Boz Scaggs song. So Scaggs has this gift for maintaining songs that at once sound fairly smooth, conventionally catchy melodies, but they don't have a uniform sound throughout. It feels like there are different little melodies hidden within them. And this one is accented by some epic percussion. It kind of sounds like a thunderclap. But I guess musically, what I like about this one is rather than a simple verse, chorus, or verse, chorus, bridge structure, this one goes verse, chorus 1, chorus 2. It builds to something. Then there's a dramatic change. Then there's another dramatic change. And that just gives the emotion behind it a unique epicness. Again, we get a change of feel with track number 5, Harbor Lights. This is a slow song with a more pensive feel to it. And I guess you could just call it adult contemporary music, but it has one intriguing line in there. It opens with the line, Son of a Tokyo Rose. So Tokyo Rose was the nickname that Americans gave to Japanese women radio broadcasters who broadcasted in English during World War II. And it was particularly associated with a Japanese American woman named Aiba Taguri, who wanted to live in America after the war, but spent years fighting charges that her radio broadcasts amount to treason. As far as I can tell, this was this weird concept where these English-speaking Japanese broadcasters were hired to supposedly demoralize the American troops, say things like, you are losing the war, give up, give up. So I don't know. It's debatable to me whether that even should be a prosecutable offense. Like technically, they're supporting the bad guys, I guess, but in such a mundane way. And then Iva Taguri was someone who was ultimately able to overturn her convictions in America. So a story of a fight for justice, regardless. So anyway, while the Harbor Lights can largely be appreciated as a song for anyone who sometimes feels lonely and likes to take a walk out at the night, maybe takes a nice boat trip out and to see the city skyline, Scaggs manages to add a dose of even deeper meaning, a sense of a more profound loneliness because you're this person trapped between cultures that are so at odds that you might be at least rejected, if not punished, for your complex identity. Track number 6 is called Low Down. This one is a funky jam, and it seems to be about a woman who's being a seems to be about this girlfriend who's gotten a bit show offy. She's very happy with all the gifts her boyfriend is giving her. And as far as I can tell, the boyfriend like doesn't truly love her. He's just, I guess, playing a game, so to speak. And the singer is saying to the boyfriend, hey, you gotta, not give this woman unrealistic expectations of you. It's not fair how much she loves you and you don't love her back. This is apparently the favorite song of Boz Scaggs and his band and was a big hit for them, but I don't get it. For me, this was the least enjoyable song on here. It sounded, again, most like them just sort of jamming funky sounds. It didn't have that rich, beautiful, clear rise to the top vocals of most of the other songs on here. That said, track number 7, we get another great soulful hit. Uh, and much like the Alan Toussaint song earlier on this album, it's a song that mostly maintains a catchy melody throughout, yet has these cool little moments of musical transition. The simple lyrics with this one contradict themselves. The singer directly says, "It's over and go away," but then he clarifies what he means. He's saying, "I'm not really over you," and thus the need to urgently shout, "I am over you, go away." So very simple but interesting songwriting. Track number 8 is called Love Me Tomorrow. This one just written by the keyboardist David Page. This one has a slightly different feel to it, upbeat, but in a minor key. Maybe you could say it has a bit of a reggae feel. And then we get to track number 9, Lido Shuffle. And I don't know, it's hard for me to describe songs that I've known for a while and love so much, but it's just a song, again, about a character who doesn't care, who is brimming with adventure, and Scaggs hits all the stops, the whoa, 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 whoas, the non-lyrics as well as swift-moving lyrics when he is singing real words and dramatic horns. I mean, yeah, it's just the song is perfectly orchestrated. And there's a description of it in the liner notes because one could wonder with a song like this, is it about a particular character? Does it have a meaning? But no, Scaggs is just trying to capture that feeling of rebellious adventureness. And track number
10.
is called We're All Alone. This is a song about two lovers trying to escape somewhere, I guess, just through being in love, Yet a song that openly talks about life being sad, but suggesting that love can be an escape, or at very least, the singer's trying to convince themselves that it is an escape, because otherwise you can't escape the existential dread of life. So overall, this was a very rewarding album to listen to. I went in just knowing Lido Shuffle, but so many of these songs have a nice, catchy sound to them, and there are 3 live performances as bonus tracks on this CD edition as well. One of the challenges here is I love this album, but I wasn't quite sure what to say about it. I guess I'm just coming off listening to a lot of Bob Dylan, so I'm longing for lyrics to interpret. And it's pretty clear from these liner notes, Boz Scaggs was a music first musician. He was more interested in creating catchy tunes than in telling particular stories. But I think despite that, he clearly has this gift as a lyricist that he has to drop in an ounce of more interesting personality, even if that's not his primary goal. So the detail about a Tokyo Rose in the song Harbor Lights. The other interesting detail about this one is that this album, I believe, counts as kind of the founding moment for Toto, the Africa, Hold the Line, Rosanna band. So David Page would go on to be a member of Toto, the drummer Jeff Caro, and the bassist David Hunking. Obviously, the main focus, Boz Scaggs, great catchy record. I'm Zach Morgenstern. This is Ludwig von B. See you next time.